Your favorite couples here so easily accessible. Grab your headphones, hit play, turn up the decibel. Master of the pod like a young Skywalker. Shout out to homie Yoda, cause great are we talkers. The crew is firm, so it's love to AZ. You signed the Tempe. Squash the competition simply. Sure to get you high like some true West Coasters. Look at the flick of the wrist. One guardian Leviosa. LA is always sunny. Comic-Con with honeys. Pokemon and Dunny. Sneaker hype, be sticking money. And Rachel rolls her eyes and see Lee made it funny. Time flies and now my flux capacitor is running. You not rocking with us, you like a muggle wizard, see. Just stupefy yourself with the wave of wizardry. Like Mario standing still and the left's a moving screen. A world full of nerds, but only two nerdly. Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard, you see. It will be a drum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly. Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard, you see. It will be a drum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly.
Yes, do that. The entire episode, please. Hello and welcome to the Nerdlies. I'm Chris.
I'm Rachel.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing well, being safe. Yeah, things have changed quite a bit since last spoke. Well, I mean, I'm gonna temper that. Things have changed a little.
A little.
We still have to
see.
We still have to deal with some shit, I'm sure. Yeah. But it's a better day. Yeah, it seems like the last couple of days, which is good in some respects. In some other respects, guys, try to stay home. Wear your masks. Try to prevent that spread a little bit. But in any case, without getting too real, let's plow ahead because there's plenty of things to talk about this last couple weeks.
But can we be excited for just like a second?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
That there was a electoral landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy. I think I think it's no. If you listen to the show, I think you know where we lean generally. Yeah. So it's not a surprise to you guys. But obviously the election election years are always stressful. Yeah. Stressful, especially because of how the rhetoric has been the last 4 years and everything to go with it. And obviously, we can only do so much. We live in California. California is usually a very blue state, so we don't really have too much to do, or too much to, I won't say worry about, but we don't have that high of stakes here. There are some local elections that went the right way as well, which was nice, but yeah, there was some local shit that was dumb, like Prop 22. But that's elections. It sucks. Hopefully we'll get through it. And, but the big thing was obviously trying to get the orange out of the sus orange out of the White House. And it seemed like we've done that. Even though he's challenging the shit out of it, we have to deal with that shit for the next couple months.
I just I never thought I would you just don't think that or you're hopeful that even when it's a president you don't like, they'll still act like a fucking president.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I feel like, and it's a low bar to clear. Yeah. It's a low bar to clear to just be like, he may be a decent human being, just have shit policies. Yeah. Which I believe, in my opinion, that's what George W. Bush was. Yeah. He had shit policies, had incredibly evil people running the thing for him, and he didn't speak in a way that was he just wasn't so overtly terrible, racist on all these things. He wasn't so overtly, and that's terrible that that's such a low bar. Yeah. It's such a low bar to clear. But looking back, it's okay, I dealt with that for however many years. Yeah. And that was kind of okay. Yeah. And not kind of okay, but just it.
It was more of a Bobby Newport situation, really. It's
yeah.
He was not super smart,
But the evil smart people were around him.
Yeah, and Daddy was president, so I want to be president too. And that's kind of just how most people felt about him. Yeah. But it's nothing like what we have now, and like, yeah. And I remember being scared because I didn't want Bush here anymore. And I'm like, I'd take him. Honestly, I'd take him over Trump any day.
Yeah.
I still didn't like him, but I would take him over Trump.
And it's not that, like, for me, even reading back on, like, certain things on certain presidents, and it's like, okay, literally no president so far has been perfect. Even as much as I love Obama, he did some shit that I'm not, like, looking back at it, I'm like, I'm not down with what was going on there.
Yeah.
But, like, Jesus Christ, this guy was, like, I'm not even gonna say his name. He doesn't deserve his name to be said out loud anymore. The orange was just so overtly everything, literally everything we stand against.
Yeah.
Literally everything we don't like.
Yeah.
So to compare him to previous administrations is even just like, I can't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense because all the people are in it are like the dumbest, most racist people and like the most like rich people that don't understand the world, that sort of people. Like that's every single person in
Which is why I just like I still can't wrap my head around the like why like
and it's
lower
not like
middle class people were so enthralled by him. I'm like
he doesn't care about you.
He doesn't give a fuck about you. He cares about his people. How do you not get this?
And also
that's all he's interested in is his people and protecting that bottom line that he has.
That money. It's all about that money and whatever his hair is
Which I'm
doing.
like, really? Like, what fucking money are you making right now, dude? Like, everything you do turns to shit. Like,
I don't know.
It's just such a fucking... honestly, I feel like that's why he wanted to be president, because he knew, like, every other shit failed, and he was just like, I want to make a lot of money.
It's totally a grift.
I want
it's
to
a
make
grift
a lot
for
of
him
money
to write a book later, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, he gets a kick-ass salary as president and doesn't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that, like I said, I told my dad, like, how sad is it that, like, I got teary-eyed over a president saying that he believes in science.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why is that a thing that has to be said several times in both speeches that they believe in science and climate change?
Right.
I'm just like, why is this a talk? Why can't it just be common knowledge? Why do you have to? I mean, it's just like sad that like I'm so excited just by that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of work to be done, right? It's not.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
that's
over.
the thing is like, yeah, and like I'm allowing myself this small victory in such a shitty year, but at the same time, yeah, we're still like California passed some bullshit, and like a lot of other fucking states probably passed some bullshit.
Yeah,
everybody has bullshit on their know on their propositions and stuff that people with a lot more money get. Passed because they can do better TV campaigns, which is so fucking stupid.
And companies get to put their money into politics, which I think is BS.
Yeah, but like I'm just.
But I digress.
We have a long way to go on a lot of shit.
And especially, I mean, even if you look at the numbers,
I still don't agree with everything that they both stand for, but it's just, it literally was like, do you want a democratic America or do you want a fucking like wannabe Hitler?
Yeah.
Like, which would you prefer? And I'm like, yeah, I like some democracy. That's cool.
It's a little bit of democracy.
Just a little bit. So I'm just gonna like
just a taste. Just a taste of democracy.
Just a little bit before your fucking stacked ass Supreme Court's gonna rip my uterus from my golden hands.
Yeah.
Fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate it.
But yeah, no, like obviously work's not done yet. There's a lot of stuff still. It was still fucking 72 million people voted for him. So it's like, ugh, like I said, it's just, Jesus,
it's so scary.
It's very scary.
So scary.
And obviously seeing, Anyway, we'll get off politics for a little bit, but it's a new day. We'll see how everything goes the next couple months. I
just feel like. Yeah, for historical reference, I would like to say that this is a very good day.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things, we still, like I said, we still have 3 more months of this bullshit, and he could just pull something out of his ass last minute and be like, all right, well, Korea's my homeboys, so if you disagree with me, I'm going to nuke all of you. We're just going to be like, all right, I guess this is what happens. Like, seriously, like, who the fuck knows? Like,
Yeah.
he would do anything to not, yeah. To not
Anyway.
be in the...
All right. Well, we're hyped up. I did want to talk about just at the beginning, because obviously the big piece of what we're going to talk about is the Mandalorian. We're going to wait for that a little bit. Obviously, 3 episodes in, a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll get to that. I did want to cover a couple of things last couple of weeks, gaming wise. I have been playing Phasmophobia, which I think is a really fun co-op horror game. I never thought I would be into a horror game, but this one is like, it's
I was like so surprised you were like, I want to play this.
There's
horror
something
game.
about
Really?
there's something about the structure of it. The structure of it is so much fun because it's, you know, puzzle solving with your friends. And even though it's scary, which it is, I still get frightened every single time the ghost shows up. But there's a bit of like, okay, I want to figure this out. I need to figure out what type of ghost this is. Can I do all the other challenges and do all that stuff? And it's just fun in that respect. Like, I still don't like being scared, because there's certain things I'm like, oh, if I was the last person that is alive, I'm just leaving. There's no way I'm keeping going with the mission by myself.
No. Yeah, no.
Because the thing for me is that I feel the comfort of having 3 other ghost hunters. And I feel better about the situation.
I just think it's funny that, like, we were watching, I don't know if any of you guys know about Unis Honest. It actually ended. So, unfortunately, you can't go look up these videos that I'm going to describe to you. But they basically, essentially, it was Markiplier and Ethan Nedry, I believe, is his last name. Is that correct?
I don't know. I've never known his last name. I'll look it up. You keep talking.
But anyway, but he goes by Crank Gameplays. But they literally, starting in November of last year, they decided that they were going to make a YouTube video every single day for the entire year.
Ethan Nestor.
Nestor. So yeah, and they did it, and like, which was impressive because they both already had, like, I mean, Ethan is not quite as popular as Markiplier is, because Markiplier is like just like huge. But that's something that he's kind of done from day one, is like, he like helps his friends, like, you know, who don't maybe have as many followers and stuff. He tries to get people to see, like, that they're fun people and good people, and that's why he plays games with them and stuff like that. But he basically just like met Ethan, and like they just kind of naturally had this like friendship, and I didn't even realize how much younger Ethan is than Mark. Like, Ethan's like 23 and Mark is like almost our age. So it kind of felt like he was mentoring him a little bit in that way. And like, it was a really cool concept that basically they were going to do this channel for an entire year. And then when literally from like the second that they launched it to the second that they ended it, they just said, okay, we're going to, like, literally at the stroke of midnight, everything's gone.
Yeah.
We're deleting everything. Like, all of our social media will be gone. All of our entire channel, all 365 videos, which I think it ended up being like 369 videos.
Yeah, they said 369.
But yeah, because of that, they, but that was their whole theme about it, was like, Memento Mori, which is remember death. And so it's kind of like them saying, like, you know, think of this as almost like an allegory for like just a year of life, or maybe the last year of your life, and like what you would want to do, and like just all like having a new experience every day was basically it. So like they did like just like stupid random stuff that was just kind of like just silly to like really serious things, like getting pepper sprayed and trying that out. And like both of them trying to overcome fears, and then just them like they almost like made a mini movie in the middle of it, and like all this stuff. And so it's just like, again, like, I didn't love every single thing they did, because a lot of it was like just like, we're gonna eat gross shit, and I'm never like really that into that. I'm like, okay, cool, have fun with that. And like some was just really dumb games, or really dumb skits and stuff like that. But like there was also like, I really liked the stuff where they would have like real people on, and like showing like them learning new skills, like how to like ride a horse, how to do archery, like how to like looking at attack dogs and how they're trained and stuff, and like they just did so many cool
Yeah, they
things.
did do a lot of cool
and,
stuff.
So that was fun. We basically like watched like I think about 6 hours of their
live stream
their
the
live
other day.
stream.
But I think the thing that you were going to talk about was the ghost hunting that they did.
Yes. So I'd forgot. I mean, I started watching from the beginning because I had already been a fan of Mark, but like I think I was like a lot of people where I didn't really kind of get it. I was just kind of like, oh, it's really making this new channel. Like I don't really understand.
That rattling in the background is Keanu, by the way. She's found a toy, and now that she's over here. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so like I kind of came late to the game, but then like in the last like 4 months, I've been pretty much watching their videos every day, and I kind of went back and caught up on some other ones and stuff. But apparently they were just talking about, since like Phasmophobia has become such a big deal, I guess earlier on in the year they met with an actual ghost hunter, and like and so they recently were calling up people that they had worked with throughout the year, and they talked to her, and they were kind of asking her like, oh, so have you heard of the new game Phasmophobia, because it like just came out. And she's like, oh yeah. And they were like, oh, so like, do you not like it? And she's like, yeah. She's like, it oversimplifies a lot of it. And she said, but like the main thing is like the thing they teach you in it is to like say the ghost name a bunch of times to anger it, or like say like or basically like pester them until you get a response. And that's like absolutely not what you're supposed to do if you're ghost hunting, because you don't like if the thing, it's like, I mean, it is basically like what the game is in a way. That if you piss it off too much, like
it's gonna do some shit.
It's gonna either kill you or like
it'll follow you
or
forever.
Start fucking shit up for you a lot and fucking with you in general. So she was kind of like, yes and no. Like, yes, it's similar equipment to what we use, because they even like, she even has like her own like jerry-rigged
spirit box and all EMF like, readers, all those type of things.
And like, so it is similar in terms of that, but like the classification like thing and stuff, which I guess it's like they had to kind of
put that gamify it. You have to gamify it a little bit for Phasmophobia.
But she said, like, basically, she's like, if you don't know what it is, like, leave it alone. Like that's, like, the rule of, like, any of it is, like, if you don't, and especially if you don't know what you're doing, leave it alone in real life. Like, just don't. Don't start antagonizing it. Don't, like, start trying to have a conversation with it. Just leave it alone.
Even in the game itself, it's like, don't antagonize the ghost unless you know what you're doing and absolutely need to do it. Like, that's a last ditch effort. You should not go in there, running in there and like say its name a bunch of times and whatever, all this identifying stuff. You're just supposed to figure out what it is first, see what it wants. And that, I think, is a big tenet of ghost hunting in general.
But like then, because I hadn't seen it, I went back and watched that one, and like it was pretty fucking scary a couple times, because like they would like, he kept saying, he said whoever was like talking, I don't even know if I really believe in this stuff, but it's kind of fun sometimes. Just like the whatever was on the box said Mark's dead dad's name. And then said Mark's name like
several
times. And then finally like almost learned how to say Ethan's name, because he's like, can you say my name? And then you hear it say like Even or something. He's like, no, and then you hear Ethan, and you're like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
There's just a couple things that happened where I was just like, I would be like, it'd be like Danny watching these horror things, like, no, all right, I'm out, goodbye, it's nice seeing you, bye, I'm out, bye.
How many YouTube followers do we need to have for you to do ghost hunting at the least?
Fuck. No.
Never.
I don't care how many fucking people we get. I'm not doing that shit. I will literally have a heart attack and die.
If we did it in that same safe environment with that woman, I would do it at 300.
300.
We're not even close to that yet.
Yeah. Well, you can go do that for 300.
It would be very interesting, but it would be a little freaky.
Like, honestly, it's like kind of like with scary movies too. I'm like, the only way I could do that is if it was like during a day and we were somewhere talking to somebody. But like, even then, I don't think I can handle it. Yeah. Because like, yeah.
It'd be a lot.
Too much.
It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically all I've been playing lately. We did a little bit of Animal Crossing for the Halloween update and stuff like that.
I played Undertale again.
Yeah, Rachel replayed and beat Undertale again. I watched. So the next two things I'm excited to play. Miles Morales came out yesterday, basically, or 2 days ago. And 2 days ago was our anniversary.
Yeah.
Why would we remiss to not say happy anniversary? It's our 9th anniversary. Yeah. November 12th. Mm-hmm. Thank you for dealing with me for 9 years, or however long it's been.
Same.
But yeah.
Appreciate you.
We went to Palm Springs, had some fun. It was good times. We tried to be as safe as possible. Oh, I'll tell this story. I'm going to tell this story after I talk about video games. So, Miles Morales came out on Thursday. I just bought that. I'll be playing that on Twitch. Probably starting, it'll be tomorrow, but yeah, I'll be starting to play that on Twitch. And also on Nintendo Switch, the Warriors of Hyrule, the Zelda game, just came out, which I will also be playing hopefully this week. So I'll mix that in with some Phasmophobia stuff this week on Twitch and stuff like that. So if you want to follow us, twitch.tv/thenerdlies. We'll play games on that. We play Jackbox with our audience and stuff like that too. That's been a lot of fun as well. But going back to the anniversary trip. So, obviously year of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, as our friends the Game Grumps would say, year of this, the pandemic and all that stuff. We try to go on our 9th anniversary trip. We were supposed to be in Japan, but seeing how things are, we cannot go to Japan. So we went somewhere local. We went to Palm Springs, which we've been before. Lots of great food out there. I broke the diet for a little bit. We got a lot of good takeouts, and because things are not normal right now, we basically any restaurant we went to was either takeout or delivery, because we're not dining at restaurants right now. It's just not a thing that we want to do.
Yeah.
But one night, a gentleman came to deliver us sushi. We haven't had sushi in a while. Very excited about it. I go outside of our hotel to meet the driver because he was there. I go out there, and I'm telling you this because it was so shocking to me, and also just funny because he's fine. I'll preface this by saying the driver is fine. But I'd go out there and meet the driver, I'm gonna go meet the driver. I'm standing there. I see him kind of open his door, but then his car starts moving, and I'm like, oh, weird. He's gonna move his car a little bit forward. I guess he doesn't want to block the driveway or something. And then all of a sudden, I hear a bag crinkle, and I see him on the ground, not in the car. The car is slowly creeping down the street.
No.
And he has to get up and run after it because he forgot to put it in park. Luckily, it didn't hit anything. It hit kind of a small bush and some rocks that stopped it right as he got to it. So I think he got about the same, but he might have gotten some scrapes on his bumper and stuff like that. And I just felt so bad for the guy because it's
yeah,
I'm just trying to deliver food, man. I'm not trying to get hurt on the job. I'm trying to get on my car. I just felt so bad for him. But it was just shocking and funny. Because if I was in that situation, I'd have to laugh just to get the ego off of me and be like,
yeah,
I didn't stop my car. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Luckily he's okay. I checked, make sure that he was okay before he left. He's like, it's fine. Just a little, probably some scrapes on his arms, I'm assuming, because he fell on the ground.
Yeah.
But he looked physically okay. And just obviously just the embarrassment. We tipped him well because I was like, I can't leave you off with a normal 20-25% tip when you went through this emotionally.
When you almost killed your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he perfectly saved our bag somehow. There was no damage to our sushi at all. So
he's the real superhero in this situation for saving our food.
Oh man. But yeah, I if I ever see that guy again, I want you to know I'm glad you're okay. Hopefully your car damage is not too bad, because it definitely hit a bush. But yeah, that was such a weird, crazy situation. I had to I documented it on my personal story on Instagram, but it was just one of those things. I will never forget that image. like from my brain.
The panic.
Yeah, just like seeing the car go down the street and him on the ground.
I can't do anything.
Yeah. And I was like just frozen with like, what is happening? You know? Because I've seen Postmates come with like, they're two people are driving together and like one person comes to deliver and one guy's in the car. So I thought maybe it was that situation where I like, maybe I saw him come out the door wrong and it was like the other guy who's coming to bring me my food. Nope. He definitely fell out of the car because he didn't put it in park or forgot to put it in park. Yeah. Anyway. Any other big news? I mean, like, the other big news would probably be, I guess, I mean, not that it's hard because, like, Fantastic Beasts is something we are interested in, but also, I'm kind of on the boat of not directly supporting J.K. Rowling anymore anyway. But the big announcement was that Johnny Depp is not going to return as Grindelwald. And it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Yeah, and I think that they're in talks now to replace him with Mads Mikkelsen, which is a fan favorite. I think people wanted him from the get-go. So that will be interesting if that goes through. So we'll see what happens with Fantastic Beasts 3. But yeah, that was all. I mean, anything else you want to talk about before we get into diving into Mandalorian this season?
Not that I can really think of.
Okay.
Little Nightmares came out with like a playable demo.
Oh yeah.
Which unfortunately it doesn't seem to be super intuitive, but it is like an early demo, so
yeah.
It's hopefully people will kind of give
the feedback
and
back
be
to
like,
them.
Hey, but I mean, the thing that a lot of them were complaining about was the thing that like literally they were complaining about last time because like, and I do think it's kind of cool to have a game where you don't spell out exactly how to play it.
Yeah.
Because they want to just like literally just drop you in this environment. It's kind of like how Inside was.
Yeah, it's in that vein.
It kind of
just
vein. Drops you right into the story, and you kind of have to figure out what jump is and what run is and what hiding is and everything like that. So it's kind of cool, and it's in that similar vein where you're like a little kid, you're by yourself, and so. But there's certain things that they should like at least let you look at in terms of like, okay, this helps you crouch, this helps you like pick things up, and like they don't really do that. So there's a lot of puzzles where they're like, I've seen people getting stuck on things because they're like, I don't understand how I'm even supposed to do this right now. But in general, I'm really excited. I mean, it's just as creepy, if not creepier than the first one. But I think, like I said, because it's like, you know what? Keanu is fucking with my feet right now. But yeah, like I still like that it has that like kind of almost like American McGee, Alice like style creepiness to it, because he's known for doing a lot of, because like, and I can't remember if it was, I think I'm like mixing it up with McFarlane Toys, but like I think McFarlane Toys at one point had like a series of like fairy tale things that were like super fucked up and like
I think Todd McFarlane did some shit like that, I'm sure.
But then also American McGee started coming out with like the dark Alice in Wonderland, and a lot of that was very like creepy, dark, demented, like twisted kind of fantasy type stuff, and that's kind of what it reminds me of, like the art style of this game is like very kind of like almost like an art dark Alice in Wonderland type thing because of how small the children are compared to these like huge monstrous people that almost look like they have rubber faces and stuff, and like just the character designs are horrifying.
Yeah. They're so gross.
Like there's gross. Like sentient hands. Like I forgot in the old one there was this dude that just had these like extremely long arms and his face was like falling off. It was so disgusting. I was like, oh my god. But at the same time, and I don't know why, but I mean I guess it is just because it's like these little kids and you're like just worried about them. Like you get like kind of attached to the story, and it's just like you're just kind of the whole time just going, what the fuck, like what is going on? And like I don't know, it's just and also I just ended up, once I saw the part with the lady, I just thought that was such an awesome boss fight mechanic, because it's so like kind of like terrifying because it throws you for a complete loop, that whole thing of her like she's the only enemy that, like, usually you've in the past, like, it kind of teaches you that, like, anytime you want to, like, distract an enemy, you have to make a noise so it'll come to one of the rooms you're in, and then you have to escape while it's looking the other way, or, like, find a way to, like, weave in and out to, like, get away from it. And then you're in her room and you break the jar and you hide and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And you can, like, and I've seen a lot of people, like, they'll wait for a while and they're like, where is she? When is she coming in? And then you start walking back out and then she's just fucking gone. She's completely gone. You don't know where she is or where she went. And then you just have to, like, you have the key now, so you know you can open this one door. And then you go to open the door and then all of a sudden you just start seeing her, like, in front of you and behind you and to the side of you. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, it seriously is one of the, like, it's the kind of horror that I think I actually do enjoy, is, like, where it's not, like, overtly crazy and, like gory, but it's just, like, it's, like, creepy as fuck.
Yeah. For
like,
sure.
that kind of stuff is, like, kind of fun. And so that's why I enjoyed her. So I'm hoping that, like, I know they have a lot of new creepy villains, but I still want a little bit of her.
Yeah, you just want her to come come into the fray.
Yeah. Because it's crazy, because it's like she's maybe aesthetically one of the more pleasing characters to look at, but, like, at the same time, like,
that's because you haven't seen, like, under that
she
mask.
Has the creepiest, like, powers that she can just, like, suck people's lives out of them and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for that it is a sequel, because I thought it was going to be a prequel too, but apparently it is a sequel, so I'm excited for that.
Pretty amped. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything else, but let's go into The Mandalorian Season 2. We're 3 episodes in, so if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. We love it so far. No spoilers. If you are a fan of the animated series stuff, you're going to love this season even more. Because I think they did a little bit of love for it last season, but this season...
kind of bare minimum, but, like, this is, like...
I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it's been in the news a lot about, you know, what they're going to try to tie in. But if you are a fan of Clone Wars and Rebels, this season will satisfy you very well. So far. Far. I can't say for the rest of the season, but three episodes in, we are dying at where we're at. And only 8 episodes. So you get go get Disney Plus and go watch it. Anyway, from here on out, we're going to go with spoilers because I don't know if I could say about anything else until we start. So we're going into spoilers. If you're listening,
we'll go episode to episode. So, like,
it
will be like, we're going into episode 3 now, and then you can be like, oh, I didn't listen to that, so I'll skip ahead or whatever.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll start with episode 1.
Yes.
Episode 1, we catch up with Din Djarin, Mando. He is with Baby Yoda trying to find Baby Yoda's, like, anybody, like his species or
his
wherever,
cousin,
his people.
His grand aunt, who knows?
So he's trying to find other Mandalorians because they might be able to help with the quest because Mandalorians know about the Jedi a little bit. So he goes back to Tatooine. We get to have fun with Amy Sedaris again, which was cool.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah, her character is great. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she loves the baby. Like, there he is. Look at him. I love it so much.
And then we get to see him try to find his first Mandalorian, who is supposed to be on Tatooine somewhere else. But as soon as you see the armor, you know where it's from, at least. And I know Rachel audibly yelled very loud, like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it looked like fucking Boba Fett, man.
Yeah.
It definitely, like,
you can tell
it's not like he definitely didn't have the physicality of him. So I kind of already was like it's definitely the right colors. I don't know if this is like a fanboy or what this is, but apparently it legitimately is his armor, but it's definitely not the OG.
Yes. You find out that
Boba Fett inside of it.
You find out that this, like, sheriff basically of this small town has found or traded for Boba Fett's armor from out of the Sarlacc pit and all damaged and shit, and uses it to help protect his town. And I don't know how. I really kind of blocked out a lot of the casting as much as I could. Obviously, we know certain people that got casted and stuff like that, but I totally blocked this name out. But as soon as he walked on screen, before he even said anything, and I was like, I think that's Timothy Olyphant. I'm pretty sure it is. And as soon as he started talking, I'm like, that's going to be him under the helmet. It's Timothy Olyphant. Because this guy is like, he has a very specific, I feel like, he has a specific physicality. And as soon as he talked, it's like, okay, this is a dude who does Westerns. Mm-hmm. And like, is a, like, just that good Southern accent dude. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's him. And I totally forgot that he got casted as anything. But could spot him immediately as he stood there in that armor, like all lanky. Yeah. I saw one post as a meme of the original Boba Fett and him standing in the armor, and it's like what the clothes look like online versus what the clothes look like on me. Right. Which I'm like, that's perfect because it is very janky looking. But episode 1 was a good palette, just to give you a taste of what the season's gonna be like. And it's still working on that anthology thing where it's like he's going to have these little missions that are specific to this episode. And then there's going to be one little thing that brings you towards the rest of the season, which I think is cool. Mm-hmm. I really like the anthology thing about this. Because like with Westerns, you do kind of have that, like you have to have a mission for that episode. There's not a lot of like just sit there and learn about a character for an hour. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to have an action.
Yeah, there's always to it. It's like it's even like, I mean, this is like old school, but even like Little House on the Prairie and those types of episodics, like they always had like there was the main mission of like what you're trying to do.
There's a baddie of the week, yeah.
But then there's always side missions and
like issue, yeah.
Or like just like there's always like a problem that needs to be solved each time, and so that's kind of how they're doing it. Whereas like the first time he's got the problem of this dragon that they want to slay, and that's the only way he's going to get his armor back. And so it was just like another like, let's team up with the town and get everybody trained.
And I absolutely love what they've done with the sand people in this.
Yeah, no, I thought the Tusken
Raiders.
It's really awesome that they like made them way more sophisticated in a way than you really ever saw them.
Yeah,
before.
And that's the thing I think is like so important about these TV series versions of Star Wars. Is that you see these characters that are like pretty much random ass characters in a background of something, and you finally get to see what they are as a culture, which is like the Clone Wars itself, the animated series, just knowing how the clones actually interact with the Jedi and all that stuff, and why they're the army and all the stuff of the Republic. I found that very endearing and makes me at least appreciate those characters more for like just going back into the prequels, because it's hard to like justify the prequels in general.
Yes.
But if in that case, that Clone Wars makes a great case for justifying the sequels in its own little way.
It really does.
But yeah, with the Sand People, I guess they obviously, I think this was a thing that we knew from the first season, but they had a actual deaf actor help them with creating the Sand People's language and doing the physicality of it and all that stuff, which I think was great. But yeah, you just see more things out of them. And that last sequence where he blows the dragon up is like one of the best shots. That's like straight out of comic book sort of shot, or like superhero movie sort of shot for the first episode of the season. It's like, oh wow, they really, I mean, not that they didn't have budget the first time, but they really had the budget to make this shit look even better this season.
Fucking dope, yeah. It was so cool. Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty much the first episode, was just that kind of like...
And that really and obviously the last cap scene, which is going to get you hooked for the season, is finally you actually see the same actor they had for the prequels, the guy behind is Boba Fett. Boba Fett's just standing there watching as Mando rides away with his armor.
Boba Fett was a clone.
Yeah. And so he's exactly the same guy.
Exactly the same guy as... Yeah.
And I knew if they were going to do it, they had to hire him. There's no way they're going to recast Boba Fett when they have a legacy actor
Yeah, and that's the thing is like literally every clone in the Clone Wars TV show looks like him too.
Yeah.
Like they didn't change that shit at all. I mean, they each look a little different because they were clones, so they were like
variations.
So they were like, yeah, it's like if you were a clone, you'd be like, yeah, like it's like, you know, with twins that want to be like different. You know?
Yeah.
They're gonna dye their hair. They're gonna get tattoos. They're gonna do shit to like be unique, which is what, you know, it's like what they do. But yeah, when he fucking turns around, you're like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe it's fucking Boba Fett. Like I can't believe it's actually Boba Fett.
They actually fucking did it.
Like, but like I was really like, I was hoping like, oh, so maybe he's gonna be in the next episode. No.
Nope. We'll see him again later this season, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. So then, second episode was basically like some people have been memeing it. It's like Mando becomes an Uber driver for a lizard woman.
Yeah.
who apparently is going to exchange her getting to this planet for some information about Mandalorians.
Yeah.
But he has to transport her and her unborn children, or her little eggs, to this planet, and he can't go into hyperspace or whatever because like it'll jostle the fucking eggs too much. But then like fucking of course little shithead Baby Yoda's like, ooh, eggs, num num num, and then he's like, no, bad baby, don't do that. And he was like, but I'm gonna just have another one, it's cool.
I'm pretty sure Baby Yoda, or the child, ate about 8 of those things during the course of the episode. God. For sure.
It's ridiculous. R2's is
just popping one in. But
I'm like, oh my god.
Like, obviously, we were like, oh god, that's fucking Baby Yoda, why are you so terrible? And then our friend Brian also was like, man, Baby Yoda's a little shit in this episode.
But then all parents are like, no, he is a baby.
He is doing exactly what babies do.
He is doing baby shit right now. Baby's like, oh no, I'm not supposed to put this in my mouth. Guess what?
I mean, and you knew that in the, like, it's a kind of a callback to that first season where he keeps pressing shit in the cockpit.
Yeah. He's like let's like the fucking cat. Like, I'm gonna touch it. No, but I'm gonna touch it. So yeah, that was basically it with the eggs. He's like, but I really want it.
Yeah. And obviously,
I'm hungry. You're not giving me food, so I'm gonna eat this fucking egg, bitch.
And for us, episode 2 was like nightmare fuel for like 35 minutes.
Because like, of course, as soon as he fucking opens that thing and pulls out what looked like a spider creature, I was like, nope. Let's get the fuck out of here right now. And then of course it was just this. I literally didn't watch like the last 15 minutes of that. I was just screaming into a pillow, going, no, kill it with fire. And they did kill it with fire. They killed a lot of it with fire.
Yeah.
But not enough because they were still fucking. They built like how fast are these spiders spinning these webs that like 10 minutes later he walks in his cockpit and it's just like fucking spider jizz everywhere. And he's like, what the fuck? And then I just thought it was awesome that they quote unquote made Dave Filoni be an X-Wing fighter, even though he proclaimed so heavily that like, oh, I didn't want to do it and they were gonna make you do it. And so Jon Favreau was like, guess what, bitch, now you got even more lines.
Yeah.
And you have to get out of the cockpit and talk to people and really act like. So funny. I love it. But I'm starting to love Dave Filoni as that, and I can't wait to see people cosplay him and all that. It's gonna be great. And then, so it was a good episode. It was like obviously not our favorite because it dealt with really horrifying spiders, which I was proud of myself that I recognized them from Rebels. You did, yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure because they were like white snakes. They were white spiders, and like I only saw one other spider that looked like that with like the really high abdomen, and they showed it. And it's like, yeah, they like made their mouths completely different, but it's essentially the same
species, I believe. Yeah. It's on both. It was featured heavily in Rebels. And I think they're
I just think it's interesting. I'm like, so were they on Lothal and they just didn't know it? Or was that like some other ice planet they're on that somehow this species of spider actually lived on? Who knows? But yeah, so that was episode 2. And then episode 3 was fucking insane.
Well, we'll go back just so that your reference of Lothal, I'll just throw this out because my friend Ross, who is an avid fan as well, he was telling me he thinks he would think it would be interesting, and they never stated it where he was at first to find out that he needed to go to Tatooine, and there was a lot of graffiti on that area in that town. So he was thinking maybe that's a reference to Lothal right in the first episode. I don't know that I fully believe it just because of like the difference of the town and stuff like that, I guess. But I mean, it's been a long time since they've been in Lothal or whatever.
Yeah.
So
well, and the actual main part of Lothal kind of looked like almost like an Empire.
Yeah.
Camp.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we don't know whether that was Lothal or not, but it might be a reference to like Lothal sort of stuff with the graffiti. But yes, episode 3 is incredible. We just got off of that, this week. And it starts out, he finishes the trip, delivers his Uber, gets that 3 or 4 star rating probably. And it was
so fucking cute.
You love the cute, like the
God.
cute, like the reunion little section of the top of the episode.
She just sees the little frog dude from a distance, and they're just like,
they gotta make those babies,
waddling to each other. So fucking cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but then I love that when he knows he has to go get shit done, he asks the lady to take care of Baby Yoda, and I'm going like, what the fuck, man? Like, I mean, you're gonna hope. I mean, I guess his hope is that you're gonna be protective of your eggs, so you deal with this puppy that wants to eat your eggs, and then but then it was cute because it looked like once Baby Yoda realized oh, these are they've hatched into he can it's like he connected the dots oh, so these are your kids, okay, cool. So it seemed because he was looking at them being born and stuff like that and everything, and then he was and then he acted sad that he had to leave. I was like, oh
yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry I ate your brothers. But anyway,
obviously the big thing of the episode, and this is the reason Rachel screamed so. This is probably the loudest you've screamed during the run of the series, I think.
I think so.
Mando gets into a situation. I think you think he's gonna get killed or whatever, and then all of a sudden 3 Mandalorians come onto the ship to save Mando, and one of them is Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
From Clone Wars fame, if you are adept to it, I'm sure you are.
So, yeah.
Bo-Katan,
just in case you don't know who Bo-Katan is, she's a fucking badass.
Yes.
She is, so going way back to old school Clone Wars, the initial leader, I don't know I won't go into specifics because I know that the Mandalorian line is such a crazy fucked up thing, but for a time there was a queen of the Mandalorians and her name was Satine, and along the journeys of, Anakin and Obi-Wan and all them during the prequels, apparently during the Clone Wars at one point, he meets her on a diplomatic mission and they fall in love, and that's his only love ever was Satine. And I just wasn't, it was something I never expected from the series to have them go there, and I was like, whoa, I never knew about this chick.
Yeah.
And then sadly she ends up getting murdered in battle, and then her sister, who is Bo-Katan, she kind of takes over the mantle of the Mandalorians from her sister, but is always kind of reluctant because
she's more of a warrior than
they disagreed on a lot, and whereas she wanted to be more diplomatic and everything, and she was like, no, we should need to fuck shit up because nobody's respecting us. So I don't know, for some reason I didn't imagine them butting heads as much as they did, her and Mando, but then I do remember that they do take off their helmets in the Clone Wars a lot, and because it's not as it's not their traditional culture to not take the masks off, I guess.
And now you actually get that explanation that essentially, at least to Bo-Katan, the sect of Mandalorian that Mando has come up from is deemed like a cult by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, like I said, there were
There were warring factions.
There were many warring factions, and one of them were followers of Darth Maul. They became their own sect as well. I don't think it's the same as what's going on here, but yeah, but like literally, like, because as soon as I saw her, because she has a very distinct helmet, it almost looks like a dove because it's like a white face with like a thing in the middle. And like I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It's like, well, it's like, I feel like it's got to be like how everyone thought, like, oh, I'd never see Captain America actually be on screen, like as an actual character, and then you got to see that. Like that's kind of how it felt. Is like we've literally, like, these are like some of the only Star Wars characters that have never been in live action anything.
Yep.
Like, because they are stupid. And they didn't realize that, like, they've raised all these kids on all these awesome side characters, and like for some reason, like, never thought to like make it into an actual show. But I am just so grateful for this, like, for like Favreau and like
Filoni.
Yeah, and Filoni to like be able to like pull this off is just like incredible.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking voice actress of her, which is so fucking cool.
Who is an amazing actress in her own right. I was actually surprised that, because I
know a bunch of people are like, oh, did you see the Firefly girl? I'm like, she's the voice, right? They're like, oh yeah, I did. And I'm like, okay, I just never see Firefly, so I don't know jack shit about anything. I think she was on Battlestar Galactica too.
Yeah, I believe so.
But
I love
she's her. Oh my god,
she's fantastic. I think she's a great actress and very good. Like, obviously she's been in sci-fi action sort of stuff too, so she knows this. Like, I wouldn't have, it would have been disappointing if it wasn't her. But that one was like a surprise because they did not announce that at all. I don't think. They never announced her, at least, being part of the show. So there are definitely some surprises that are going to go along the way.
I could not believe it. Yeah. I was just like, fuck. Holy fucking shit. Like, I was like, if fucking Sabine shows up right now, I'm just going to like, my head is gonna explode. I'm gonna go Oprah crazy right now. I'm like real close, but
that's one of the things that I think they were saying, that one of the bigger things is the speculation behind whether Sabine's gonna show up, especially since they said the name that we're gonna say later is going to be on the show. We already knew that at least was gonna be the bar, but we didn't have super confirmation on anybody for Sabine, and obviously we didn't have anybody for Bo-Katan, so who knows. I think there's a lot of surprises left in store. But obviously, as we were talking about it, the biggest bomb drop, even though you're already reeling from the bomb drop that Bo-Katan is still here and working and like
being a fucking badass,
being as badass as she was in the shows.
She totally took over that fucking whole goddamn thing.
It's funny too, when they were raiding that area, the Imperial ship, like the first little sequence, Mando does nothing basically, and he's just like, holy shit, these guys are like. Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, I actually loved
that's
that,
what I
because
get
they were like, even in Rebels and stuff, like they just like. They were like no match for anyone. Like they just kicked so much ass because they're just like super amazing fighters. They've got all this fucking tricked out armor and shit and weapons and like just insane shit, and like everyone else is just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So like, yeah, I loved that he was just like blown away, like, holy shit, these chicks can kick some ass. There was like two chicks and a dude, and then I guess everyone was like thinking that the other chick was Sabine,
that was
which I was like, that's like, no.
I think we can absolutely. You think you can confidently say that she did not do it? I mean, there was the WWE wrestler Sasha Banks, I believe is the name we said.
I think so.
Who was the other Mandalorian, but I don't know that they even gave her a name. I'm sure it's in the IMDb.
I think they
but
did,
it's definitely not Sabine. Like Sabine wouldn't have, like, she would be more wildly like illustrated, basically. Like her armor would be different. There's no way she would just do a regular blue armor. She always has the really short, like crazy hair. Like she had like 5 or 6 different hair colors in the show, but she had a very distinct like facial structure too, which I feel like they would. And she was like, I mean, I guess what is this taking place? Like this is after Return of the Jedi, so
yeah. So I guess she'd be a little older.
Yeah,
but like. Not by a ton.
No. But yeah, like
go to the heiress
obviously
here.
that one we can debunk right away. But
She
who
was
knows?
Casca
Maybe
Reeves.
yeah.
Was her name.
So maybe maybe she shows up later in the season. Who knows? Who knows? Because the next thing that we'll talk about is that the big name drop of the season, the first big name drop of the season, is said here, and the next part of Mando's mission is to go to some sort of forest moon and find Ahsoka Tano. And Rachel, I mean, this is something that we'd heard about. We knew that someone was cast, but obviously no visual or anything. We still don't know what she's going to look like. But we knew she was going to be in the season. We didn't know that she was going to be a name-dropped teaser in the season.
Yeah.
So I think...
Well, this episode, I just, like, wasn't expecting that to be, like... I mean, it makes sense, because she was basically helping... In Rebels, she was helping them with their, trying to help these children and stuff. And even though she's technically not Jedi anymore, she was always, like... She still believed in the Force and, like, on all that. And, like... I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, that's gonna be this, like, the saddest thing of all is that, like, eventually, like, she is gonna have to take him away from her, or take
the child away from Mando.
From Mando, yeah, and and I know, like, she will take amazing care of him and everything, but then I also wonder, like, I just assumed they were gonna say, oh, you need to take him to Yoda. Like, that's what I...
Well, Yoda's dead at this point.
Okay,
for sure.
That's right. Okay.
Yoda's dead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess it makes sense that that's who it would be to take him. But I'm like, but then, like, I don't know, did Yoda, like, somehow tell her, like, oh, my species lives here or something? Like, I don't know how she would know.
Well, I think right now they're treating it as they know he has Jedi powers.
Yeah.
And he thinks that I mean, I don't know that Mando knows a ton about the Jedi.
Yeah.
But he thinks the Jedi are the species. This is what I think from what he says.
Okay.
That he thinks the Jedi are the creed that he needs to be at, rather than the actual species that Yoda is.
Okay.
From what he said, there was like one piece of dialogue in this episode that I thought.
To his people or whatever. Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean his species. It means like, again, he just like Mando himself, he's not technically Mandalorian. He's a foundling.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they're going with that. Yeah. But obviously next episode is going to be big. Hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming we'll see her next episode. Who knows?
Oh my God, I'm gonna
only
die.
5 episodes
I'm
left.
I'm going to die. I'm just going to I'm just going to, I'll need, I think I'll need to pause the episode and cry for 15 minutes and be like, all right, now we can get this over. Because if they don't have that fucking owl with her, I'm going to scream. They better start figuring that shit out right now. I want a puppet. I want it. They better make that shit yesterday.
Man.
Owl.
I just think it's great that we have these side things that can fill holes but still leave enough to the imagination too. Because I think with Star Wars, and we talked about it with Cynthia, they have a tendency to tell stories but may also shrink the universe a lot because of how they're interconnected. And Mando's starting to do that, but I feel like it's still a satisfying way of doing it. Because I think you do need tie-ins, but if it's banking on... I don't think the season is banking on Ahsoka Tano. The season is still banked on what's going to happen with Mandalorian and the child. Which I'm like, why didn't they call it that for the second season? Just Mandalorian and the child. Right. Make it a 2-tiered title here. But yeah, I don't think they're using it as the crutch to make Mandalorian successful. That's the thing that I think happens with some things, is that they need that crutch. And I feel like this situation so far is different because Mandalorian's just helping with the popularity of Clone Wars too, because how amazing Clone Wars ended. But yeah, anyway, so we're all caught up. We'll see what the next episode holds. Really hoping to see her, but who knows? Maybe there's another little episode in between before, and you see her at the end.
I still can't decide if because they don't really show. Excuse me.
It's all good.
They don't really show a lot of the dark hooded figure's face, but like I kept thinking it looked kind of like her.
Well,
like almost if she had been disguising herself or something like that in that moment somehow.
Yeah. Because at first I thought that dark hooded figure was whoever Sasha Banks' character is, but in this episode there was no. I feel like there was like rain in that shot or something like that, so it must be something else, which could be her.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It was too hard to see. I don't know that it really was Ahsoka, but like, I mean, like so you don't see that much of her face or something. But...
I'm still hoping for a surprise Sabine. You know, maybe a surprise Ezra. That would be kind of cool.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna die. Like I'll just keep dying over and over. And I mean, what's cool, like they could easily do Hera because now they've had that chick actually be that character in the video game.
Yep.
So it's like not that hard to just get her a fucking head tail piece and go to town. Like
yeah. And this
so
is
that
like,
would be
so
dope
much
as
stuff
fuck.
that we still need to do with Star Wars. Like
what if
I still need.
What if they fucking did a tie-in with the Ghost?
Oh yeah,
like,
I would be very happy with that.
And a fucking Razor Crest mission, like they have to go and do some shit together. Oh my god.
Well, I'm so excited.
Or
to
even
see.
like if they had fucking the smuggler, guy.
That would be great.
Oh my god, how fucking amazing was that?
What is
Hondo
his name?
Ohnaka.
Hondo. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Hondo Ohnaka. If they could fucking, because I mean, they basically got someone to, be him for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the same voice actor, but like they could totally dress that dude up as Hondo.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he is such a fucking funny character. Like I would love him to be like the comic relief of some episode. Either that or fucking Lando, man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Be in his Lando song.
Oh man, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna be a great season. It's shaping up to be. We're only 3 in, 5 left, which I always think like 8 episodes is like probably the perfect amount, but also I want 10 no matter what. I don't know why, just for the rounding's sake.
Yeah,
but
no.
I mean,
well, it's gonna be weird to think that like you feel like it has to. I mean, I would assume you would have to see her now.
Yeah.
And that because that needs to be the driving impetus for the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes. But yeah. So it either has to happen in 4 or 5.
Well, and that's just like speaks to like new pacing, I think, because like Umbrella Academy, I felt like didn't let off the gas after episode 3 for the last season. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things now, especially like Stranger Things, I think is like that too, where the first 2 episodes, you're just kind of relearning the environment. And then the 3rd episode starts kickstarting you into the rest.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you guys go enjoy it. Have a good rest of the, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to wrap up. But I wanted to say, again, just as not last time, just as a shout out to our friends at Mythic Goat Coffee. They are small coffee retailers out of Arizona. You can buy stuff online. Packaging is biodegradable, which is great. And then you can use code all capital letters, NERDLYS, NERDLYS, at mythicgoatcoffee.com for 10% off your order of coffee. I really like their Elevate coffee. Last time we talked about it, I didn't say like we hadn't tried them all yet. Now the Elevate is my favorite one. It has this like little cinnamony flavor.
I like the Elevate and I like the dark roast as well.
The Enrich?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 faves. So definitely check them out and give them some love.
Because they're awesome.
Yeah.
Learn small businesses, man. You gotta support them.
Exactly. Holidays coming up. People love coffee.
Yeah.
Get them that shit.
Oh, and they have awesome merch. Like their logo is amazing.
Yeah, they have a cool logo.
Great.
Yeah, and so they have like cups and shirts and all sorts of stuff. So check me out.
So yeah, mythicgoatcoffee.com, MYTHIC goat coffee.
They need to hit up Brett and Link for some tie-ins.
Yeah, they do. They'll get better sponsorship from that than from me saying it. But anyway, hopefully you guys have a good week. We have merch on TeePublic. We have our Twitch streams. You can follow all that stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Go forth and be nerdly. Watch Mando. Don't eat the lizard eggs.
Don't do it. Okay. Do it, baby. You gotta stop it. Stop it.
All right, see you guys.
Stop it. Bye.
Hey everyone, if you like this episode or any of the episodes that we've had, please do us a favor and go on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher and write us a review, and just subscribe to us on any of the platforms that you have. You can follow us on our social media at the Nerdlies, pretty much everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and what's the words? Instagram, YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, the Nerdlies. We do need more subscribers on that so we can lock in our channel and stuff like that. Rachel's social media is
Lady Raygun. LADYRAEGUN.
Yeah, on Twitter, Instagram, and she has a Patreon account.
Yes.
That we are still shooting stuff for.
And also I have a Facebook. I don't have a Facebook anymore, but I have a Facebook page that is Lady Raygun Cosplay if you want to check that out.
Yeah, and that's also facebook.com/Lady Raygun. But yeah, come follow us and do all the things. We'll see you soon. And thank you so much for supporting the show.
Thank you.
Bye. Go forth and be nerdy.
Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the Nerdlies, the nerdy. Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the Nerdlies, the Nerdlies.